The co-main event. The main event is pretty solid, but it really just falls off after that. Like, that's a high-level women's MMA fight, and then the rest of them, a little tough. A little tough, I got to say. The co-main event between Zach Pauga and Jordan Wright. Zach Pauga sitting at minus 252. Jordan Wright coming back at plus 252. Over-under set at 1.5 rounds. Over is plus 151, under minus 151. So they're not expecting this one to last very long. Pauga 5-1, coming off the KO loss to Muhammad Usman, and Jordan Wright 12-4, coming off the loss to Dusko Todorovic. And this one, this was as greasy as it gets. I mean, you got Pauga coming down from heavyweight from the tough finale where he got knocked out by Usman. So, I mean, I don't think he was ever really planning on being a heavyweight, but that's just kind of what he needed to do to be on the show. So, makes the move down to light heavyweight. Trains at a good camp in at Elevation with Curtis Blades. So, I mean, he's getting some good rounds in there. His stand-up, though, is a little concerning. His hands are kind of low, and that kind of got exposed against Usman coming off that knockout. He's got pretty decent speed, though. I don't know how well that'll translate to light heavyweight, but for a heavyweight, he was pretty fast, and he could pick his shots from the outside, land jabs, little 1-2s, a few combos here and there, but for the most part, just overall good movement on the feet. Jordan Wright coming up from middleweight in this fight. I don't know if that's his move now, but I mean, his last fight was at middleweight. He's kind of bounced around here and there. But if we look at his fights in the UFC, he has 6 fights in the UFC. He's 2-4. His only wins in the UFC are to Jamie Pickett, who we all know is getting fed to the wolves against Bo Nickel. Kind of tells you how the UFC feels about him. And then Ike Villanueva. So Ike, if you get the Ike treatment, you're getting a layup. Let's just say that. Yep. To be the nicest that I can be, you're getting a layup. So those are his only 2 wins. His losses: Joaquin Buckley, Bruno Silva, Marc-Andre Barrio, and Dusko Todorovic. Those names aren't terrible, but I mean, he's just not getting it done against like anybody else. So let's just be honest there. I mean, he's pretty much first round or bust. If you watch the way he fights, comes out there, maybe a little timid as in the first 30 seconds to a minute, but when he goes, and he does not stop. So in the UFC, he's only been to the second round twice, and when he got to the second round, he hasn't made it to a third round at all. I mean, he's pretty much first round of bust, and if he makes it to the second round, he's usually getting finished very quickly in that second round. So I want to get there with Jordan Wright, but him coming up to light heavyweight and just the fact that he's first round or bust, it hasn't really beaten anybody good. I can't really get there. So Zach Pauga is probably the pick, but I don't know that I would back him at, minus 250. That's pretty heavy chalk for a guy that has 6 martial arts fights and really hasn't fought anybody. So I'm probably going to lay off of this one. The under 1.5 is pretty juicy too, pretty chalky, I should say. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those reverse plays where, Wright kind of gasses and Pauga just takes his time with them and you hit the over for plus money, something like that. But it's a greasy fight, and I'll probably just lay off for the most part. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's super greasy because you look at Pauga coming off of the nasty KO loss to Muhammad Usman. I mean, out of nowhere, I thought he was kind of winning the fight, and then all of a sudden, dude, he gets caught with that shot, and it's hard to back a guy coming off of that brutal of a KO because you don't know about his chin going forward, all of that stuff. And Jordan Wright can get knockouts. I mean, he is powerful. He's aggressive at times. He just lets the hands go. He's either going to get clipped or clip you type of style.
Right.
Moving up, he's going to have to deal with that power a little bit more. And, if you watch Zach Pauga, he's pretty quick for his size. I mean, he is athletic and quick. So it's not like Jordan Wright's going to come up and have a, massive speed advantage. I expect this one to end pretty early, one way or the other. Pauga, we saw, has been able to, get knocked out in flatline. Jordan Wright, obviously 1-4 in his last 5 fights, and we've seen him, beat pretty damn badly. Like you said, if it gets out of the first round, it usually ends not in his favor in the second round. So yeah, I don't know. 2 big sluggers. I mean, you kind of have to stick on the side of Zach Pauga just from what we've seen from Jordan Wright, but at minus 245 coming off a brutal knockout, like I can't find a world where I'm taking that money line at all. If I'm going to play something here, it's got to be a knockout prop, right? I mean, I can't see this fight ending by decision. Jordan Wright, I don't think decision's ever been in his vocabulary. He's either going to get knocked out or he's going to go knock you out, usually in the first round. And when it does get in the second round, like I said, man, he's either, he's probably going to sleep. One, because he's tired, and 2, it just round 2 seems to be his downfall. So I like the under in this fight. I think both guys come out with something to prove, because Jordan Wright, 1-4 in his last 5, he better get a win here, or we probably never see him in the UFC again. Zach Pauga, we had a lot of people talking about him being a super good fighter in the UFC, and he goes and gets flatlined. So both guys need this win. Both guys are going to want to do it in spectacular fashion. I would lean the under 1.5 in this fight. I just don't see it going past. I'd say the most it goes is 2 minutes into the second round, honestly. But I'm expecting a first round firework type of fight. But I'm going to stick on the side of Zach Pauga for the pick, just because I hate what I've seen out of Jordan Wright. Yeah,
and Jordan Wright's never been to a decision in his entire career. If you look at his last fight against Dusko, he landed like 60 some like strikes in the first round. It was like 60-5 in his favor in the first round. The next round, it was like the exact opposite, and he got finished. So I mean, he was just done at that point. If you like Pauga, like, just take him inside the distance or take him by KO. Like, just get that price down so you're not laying such heavy chalk that, if he does get finished, you're not losing that much. Because it can't make it to decision. It just really can't. If it does, like, whatever, man. Like, I guess we're just that off. But
yeah.